Hello, YouTubers. Joe Kersey here on Friday, March 29th, 2019, which was supposed to have been Brexit Day for the UK, but which, through various machinations, both backroom and parliamentary, perhaps backroom transferred to parliamentary, has been delayed again. Now, I have a dog in this fight, but I have an intense interest in the UK, and I have a great, degree of positive feeling, if not love, for the UK and its people. Certainly the people I've met and known and know in the UK. So I really hate to see them getting the shit end of the stick, on this. Admittedly, perhaps a 52-48 majority wasn't the huge decisive outcome that some people had wanted in the referendum on either side. On the Leave side, they thought, oh gee, we thought we could do better, or then on the Remain side or Ramon side, oh gee, that's really too close. Yeah, I lived in a time when tax levies, real estate tax levies had to be passed by a 60% supermajority. But the levies, that's additional levies, new levies. But the old levies could increase, according to some sort of inflation standard, without additional votes. And in Ohio, we got rid of that one. You had to vote on any increase at all. In other words, you weren't voting on a rate. You were voting on, so it used to be you voted on a rate. And they're still quoted in rates, but now you vote on an amount. Anyway, that's a bit of neither here nor there, but it has to do with, a lot of times, they pass these school levies, for these great palatial schools by 2 or 3, well, no, I'm sorry, I'm exaggerating. They pass by as few as 11 votes sometimes. And this is in a township full of, 20,000 people voting on this issue. So that's a very close vote. I don't want to take this right now. Anyway, so here is my good friend in, Tony Pincham in England. Sent me this for an Easter present. He didn't send me the wine in it. He sent me the glass. That's what I do. I drink and know things. Well, which is a great line from Game of Thrones, from the character of Tyrion Lannister. I remember when I first heard that line, I had to, of course, jump out of my chair and run around. Well, not run around the room as nearly as I can run around the room anymore. Because that's just what I do. That's what I've done for now decades. We're getting on to decades now. I drink and I know things. Well, I like to think I know things, and I like to think that if I don't know things and find out about them, I'll admit it. Yes, we're all about intellectual honesty here on the Island of Peace, unlike that large city on the Potomac there, just before it enters Chesapeake Bay. I don't know, maybe some parts of London along the Thames, although it's considerably upstream from where it enters into the actual estuary. Although they get tidal changes that far up. It's always interesting to watch that happen. If you care to stand there amid the noise and good Lord, London is loud. London is so loud. Oh. You better have a big, strong net to try to drag me back to London, I'll tell you. And it's expensive, albeit not as expensive as like Boston and San Francisco and New York City, It's probably comparable to Chicago. Chicago's not all that expensive, but it's a big city. By the way, any of you guys in the UK that listen to me and you're planning on coming to the United States and you're only going to go to one big city, go to Chicago. Don't go to New York. I mean, if you're going to go Chicago, Boston is horrifically expensive. New Orleans is horrifically expensive, but great fun. And don't even think about going to Florida for some Disney bullshit. Okay? Just don't. I don't think that advice is going to be followed. That's my advice. Now, while I'm talking about presents, I got a delayed Christmas present today. From the good Gail Crabtree. He said he's trying to find now what I had sitting out here all this time. Gail makes, she does a lot of crafting from time to time. This particular piece was a bookmark that she did out of a remnant of Roman glass. And it came with a little explanation like, what is Roman glass? Well, it's like one of those things you don't think about glass, do you? I don't. I didn't. You have I guess it wasn't until like the first half, the last half of the first century BC that, yes, that's BC, not BCE, that, there's a big glass-making center grew up in Syrophoenicia, where Israel is now and Syria is now. Largely because they had, guess what, sand, nice clean sand, which really helps when you try to make glass. So this thing actually came from, or the piece of glass in it came from this outfit in Jaffa, Israel, or Jaffa. And I thank Gail and her husband, Gail and John Crabtree, for this. Let me show you this here. It's, I remember seeing her make similar things, largely because I remember her bending the coil. But here is the little, it's gonna jiggle around now. Let's just, yeah. Kind of spiffy, and I guess as far as a bookmark is concerned, I guess you stick the thing in the book. I guess close the book over. Well, obviously not the dangly part, but this part. So thank you, Gail, and thank you, John. That's very nice. I actually remember her watching her make similar things, if not this thing, on one of her YouTube videos. Gail Crabtree, always worth a watch. I've been sort of out of the YouTube loop for a while, as a lot of you guys know, for a variety of reasons. I don't have a problem with YouTube. I just have a problem with what's going on in my bod. So. Sometimes you have to prioritize. Well, when I first saw this thing, when I first got opened this box that had this glass in it, I thought, that's a really neat saying. And then I got thinking back, and then you sort of like it. I tend to sort of travel back in a very spotty, abstract way. And I've always done that. I mean, that's always how I've thought about the past. I work my way back in this kind of pattern, mosaic of events and sayings and things. And by the time I had, confirmed that it had indeed been Tony Pincham that sent it to me, I had, realized, oh, that's one of these Game of Thrones things. A lot of fun. Yeah, and I thank him for that. And I thank Gail for her gift, too. She's a good soul. And she has her share of little, not so little actually, physical things that beset her, sometimes more, sometimes less. Called life, isn't it? So there hasn't been really anything else. I went to the store this morning. I got, did a wine run. And then, since I didn't want to go over to Walmart just for some bread and some cheese, because I've got cheese still. So, I mean, I don't really need to go to Walmart. I don't want to go horsing around over there just for, save $1.50 on 3 loaves of bread, or $1.30 even on 3 loaves of bread. So I paid the extra $1.50 for the 3 loaves of bread, bought them at Giant Eagle. The very expensive Giant Eagle. I do like this. There's too many reflections. I should turn the light off, but I'm sitting here right now. Okay, well, the plan of attack for tomorrow is to actually not have to go out and do stuff. And then read in church on Sunday. Okay. I watched the little bit of the spacewalk today, because I'm a space junkie. And I watched the vote in, the end of the debate and the vote in the UK Parliament on this this deal, this leaving deal, which is kind of brings us back to the start here. It seems to me that the big deal is you don't want to have, the issue is you don't want to have a hard border in the Irish island between the Northern Ireland part of the UK and the Irish Republic. Okay, then just don't have a hard border. Just anybody that comes into the UK from the Irish Republic gets either a 90-day visa or a 6-month visa, okay? Most of them are just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, okay? Okay, fine. Off you go. It's like, it's not, I dare say there are probably very few people that say, oh, I want to emigrate from the EU into the UK via the Irish border. Maybe they do. Well, then just give them a 90-day thing, and then if they overstay, turf their ass out. Kind of like what we try to do here when people overstay their 90-day visas. I don't see how that's hateful to people. I mean, just I suppose it eliminates the whole work, come in freely and work thing, which I guess that would piss off some people one way or another. Make some people happy too, I suppose, one way or another. But I don't see how that holds everything else hostage, Just, okay. The UK's out. Everybody has to have their passport checked, Just And just if you don't want to have, I don't see why that the EU has to determine how British products are labeled and made just so they can be traded without a tariff. That's bullshit. Come on. I've traveled over there. I've eaten a lot of stuff. It's all just fine. I'll tell you, it's far better than any of the shit you get in Europe. I'll tell you that. Judging from what I ate this past fall, most of that crap tastes like sawdust. You eat the stuff in Britain, it tastes like real food. It's good. Just an opinion from a disinterested, no, I didn't say uninterested, a disinterested U.S. citizen. Okay, well, on that note, I think I'm going to shut up and say, again, I want to thank people that have been commenting on my videos. I haven't been able to get back to you as fast as I usually do. But I'll get back. I'll be back. I'll be back. Yeah, I will. And then there are a couple of new subscribers too. I want to thank them. So, thanks. Anytime somebody takes their time to look at some of this stuff, I am very grateful for them to do that. So, thank you. And now I'll say bye-bye, YouTube.